Right, guys, my name's Antony Cummins, and I'm going to tell you about how I think the NHS are failing fathers and where they can go from here and how to make it better. This isn't one of those we hate the NHS videos. I actually think the NHS is amazing. You just turn up, get fixed, pay your taxes, get fixed, sorted. So what I want to do is talk about how my experience as a father, or a new father, has been really sort of tainted by my non-experience with the NHS. Now, my name's, as I say, Antony Cummins, and I'm the author of How to Be a Modern Samurai, Book of Bushido, The Art of War, and for you ladies, a bit of Yin Yang, The Ultimate Guide to Yin Yang, or The Book of Ninja. So if there's any fathers out there watching this, please subscribe. This channel is about Western history and tradition, but I also run a lot of Japanese stuff as well. So, or ladies, get your husband How to Be a Modern Samurai. Okay, so I am 46 now, and Arthur is 8 years old, my son, and 8 years old, 8 months. Oh my God, I can't speak. 8 weeks old. He's 8 weeks old, Anthony, and so basically he's only a couple of months old, and I just turned 46. Now, what shocked me was that you literally have no information. The NHS provides you with how much information as a father? Zero. Not only that, they ask you to either leave appointments or not be at appointments so they can check if women are being abused. Now, I'm going to get into that in a bit. So basically, 99.99999% of people, men, are not abusing their wives, they're not abusing their children. They are normal, perfect men who want to make sure their children and their wives are healthy. So I was like, what do I do? You're pregnant? Okay, I see that. She's off. She goes to a midwife meeting and all this, and she goes here and all that. And every time she comes back, she says, they're asking me, Anthony, am I being abused at home? I'm like, tell them no. So I told them no. But then I actually asked someone about this from the NHS, part of the NHS, and they said it's because it takes a long time for women to admit abuse. Fair enough. And some cases result in death. But we're talking minute cases versus the amount of fathers who've got no idea what to do. So, for example, in my day, you dipped a dummy in honey, gave it to a child. Is that still okay? I even got rum. I was put in a drawer, surrounded by towels as a child in 1978. There you go. That's how, there's some honey and you're done, it crack on. Do you know what I mean? That was it, that was parenting. So, but the problem is this channel's about Western culture and tradition, and we've had a breakdown since then of Western families. In fact, the breakdown of Western families has been happening since the Industrial Revolution. The big farming communities where Aunt Bessie looks after it, Uncle Joe does this. You've got all these different things going on in these old communities that bit by bit that broke away. And let's say by 1980, those big families are gone, and you just left you, your wife, and you're sort of like, that's it, I've got to do something. Luckily, I came from a larger family, so I still had that experience with children. Like put your elbow in the bath, you know what I mean? Cradle the head and all that, how all those types of things. Don't boil them in a kettle, But I look at a lot of especially the youths today, say 20, 25-year-old fathers. How on earth are they going to know what to do? So I was expecting the NHS to be like, there you go, there's a little meeting, there's a pamphlet, and these are the do's and don'ts. Here's how to hold a baby and all that. But it turns out they didn't even do, for me, they didn't do a tour of any facility where we were going to go. I got no meetings. They didn't know my name. They didn't have any information whatsoever about me. They didn't tell me anything. So as far as they're concerned, I didn't exist, but I could have killed him by accident. I'm like, well, you never told me what to do. I've never held a baby in my life. What do? I'm a father, but because the way society's run now, I've never held a baby. I have a small family, say, and what do? So what I found weird was, so I went to the local hospital, which was the Queen Elizabeth Hospital here in Kings Lynn. I'm from Manchester, but I live now in Norfolk. And I went to the desk with my miss. I said, well, where do we take you? So Emma, where do we take you? She's like, I don't know, to the hospital, but I've never been in that. It's all been refurbed and no idea. So we went there at the desk and they were like, I said, I'm going to be a father soon. I want to know where to go. And they looked at me puzzled like, and the guy was like, well, there's a birthing suite up the top. So followed this crazy map of the hospital all the way to this birthing suite. I'm like, hello, ring on the door. So, no answer. So if she'd have been giving birth, nobody would have answered. That was it. So then they sent us to another suite further down, and we spoke to, and the woman's like, yeah, just ring us. when you're giving birth. Can I have your number? You know, who are you? What? I've never heard of this suite before. I've never heard of anything like that. What do I do? All right, just phone us on this number when the time comes, when the contractions come. Okay. So that, like, Emma, we used to be with a previous partner, he didn't know either, and she had 2 children. So I'd say, luckily I'm from a big family, so I actually have answers to a lot of these questions, but it annoyed me that I didn't get anything. And Emma's ex, took her to A&E. Like, I would take her to A&E, accident and emergency. Where else do you take her? Not to the eye section, not to the X-ray section. Do you? Just where do you go? So that was absolutely ridiculous. I was like, so it took me ages to find that out. Then, and then the good thing is when you're there in the birth has happened. Oh, so that was the other thing I said I did not go in the birth room. I said, I'm very old fashioned, and I was like, no, love, I will sit outside, I'll support you, I'll drive you there in a little Batmobile, and you can sit there while it's all contractions going on. But when you're going into the room, pick your mother. So the mother came along, who was like, speed up, we've got to get there. It's raining, it's pouring. I'm like, no, let's not speed up, Paul. Let's just get there. She's all right, yeah. Do you know what I mean? But what if I'd have not have known about contractions and the length of time of labour? And she's just like, I sped up and had a car accident. No information is given. How long does a birth take? What is the average? How many contractions should they have? What time of contraction? All of that, men know zero. So my sister is also having a baby at the same time, and she's paid privately to get lessons because she hasn't ever dealt. She's an only child. I know she's my sister, but what I mean is it was a different household. I was at my mother's and she was my father's. So she was the only child in our household, never dealt with children. So she was like, she's paid to go and learn about how to deal with children as a human, because our society doesn't allow us to live in big communes anymore where the aunties on the road is too expensive. People have to move out of the area. There's no way we can all live together. Luckily, we're doing up 2 barns here. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see about our life. And we're doing 2 barns here, and we do now have the grandparents, us, and the grandchildren, a 3-generational household, which is wonderful. And we want to keep that going to a 4th generation when the older children have their own children, maybe 10 years time. So we get this. You got this idea that the NHS don't really care who you are, what you're doing, or your experience. Now, I'm not saying this is all heart emotional. It's about men who need practicality. It's as simple as that. We need practicality. So I contacted, when the midwife turned up, I complained about, the health worker turned up. I was like, not really happy with this. So she put me onto this Fathers in Norfolk place, and I met up with Mark there, the guy who runs it and all that, and he was very nice. It was very good, and there was websites and this, that, and the other. But I'd have never known about that. Why would I search Fathers in Norfolk? I just want to know about fathers in general. It's just one of those. And when I spoke to him, it was very much, the ideas are good, but the NHS are not going to go for that. There's no money for fathers. Not that I want them to give us money. There's no money to train people so they can deal with fathers and all this sort of stuff. And it isn't there, but the money's clearly there. You know what I mean? We spend, let's be honest, in the West, we spend our money on silly, strange things now, don't we? Not to bring the arguments down below, but government tax goes on crazy things that we don't want anymore. But yet they haven't got a spare 2pence or 3pence. That's how old I am. No, I'm not quite that old. But to say, hold on, let's sort out the new fathers who are going to be looking after newborn babies and making sure they're not hurt, and how to deal with it, and because men deal with things differently. So I suggested that every man in the country should be given a leaflet, a very simple, or booklet, I should say, a very simple, easy to read, and they should do a deal with DC Comics and call it Gotham Needs You, And the idea is, men, Gotham needs you. It's night time. I always said to my missus, I said, if you want me to get up in the night, Gotham needs you. It's an old joke for we all love Batman, don't we, as men, and all that sort of stuff. But the point is, and it should be comic illustrated about the simple things. How to hold a baby's head. You know what I mean? A little caricature of Batman holding a baby, how to do it, how to pass the baby along. They're all, this should be in different sections. How to bathe a baby, never leave a baby unattended, dogs with babies, what to do with that. Now, my father bought me a little book called Commando Father, so you can buy a book with all this cool little stuff in, and you're like, yeah, that's great, but why is not taught this by the NHS? The government, in my opinion, we're starting to strain into a complaint video here, is it's really annoyed me how traditional society has broken down, and it's not always the government's fault. It's partly our fault. We don't keep in contact, but you never see that constant flow of the next generation with it as you do with an extended family. I came from a family of about 50 people with cousins, aunties, uncles, and we all saw each other. And new babies are coming in all the time. So I'm actually quite good with kids, and I'm good at teaching. I used to teach sea cadets. I'm good at teaching teenagers, but it just became very obvious that the NHS have got nothing in place for the safekeeping of children through their fathers. Nothing. And when I spoke to this Mark from the Fathers of Norfolk, he was basically saying some fathers chemically will have more testosterone when their baby's born, which makes them more aggressive when things are crying, or some will have less testosterone because that is the response depending on how you interact with your baby at the beginning. I don't know if this is true. This is the information he told me. So you're getting people who are getting more irate. You might have young mothers who are just fell pregnant because they didn't know, but they're trying to do their best. A young couple trying to do their best, and they've got not much money, and the stress levels go through the roof, and there's no extended family to help them, and the husband, the partner, has no idea what to do. He's not been taught anything. Nobody taught him this at school. Nobody taught him anything. So it's basically, it should always start at school. Here you go. Everybody hold this baby. This has got to be really gentle with the neck. This is how you feed a baby. This is how you burp a baby. Don't tap this. This is how you clear a baby's throat if they're choking. Anything like that. So daddy's ready to sort of sort the problems out. Yep. So he's ready to sort of, deal with any hysterical moments. And so the next thing is, what happens chemically to a woman inside? Why is she going batshit crazy? You know what I mean? It's like, hi, you were really nice the other week and now you're pregnant. You're a monster. Good morning, Godzilla. What made you angry this morning? And so you need a little booklet, chart, whatever, to say, this is why your missus is crabby. This is why she's a problem. And don't make it all PC and woke. No. Make it direct for blokes. There you go. This is how you sort it. This is how... Take her socks off, give her a foot massage, let her chill out, she'll be fine. Okay? You know, that type of stuff should be in it. So, what you need is... now, I was told there are tours given to you to go when you're becoming a father, around where you're going to, in the birth suite, but I did not get one. We didn't have one. They never allowed us one. Like, it just wasn't on the cards. You're not having one. Like, we asked about it, and no, it's not happening. So I don't know if they've been cancelled or whatever. There's not a single meeting. So what should happen is there should be, when you find out you're pregnant, the woman should go and get it all sorted, and then, you know, go to the doctors and all that, and do everything, get the doctors to check it all, confirm the pregnancy. Then it should be midwife journeys, but then there should be a new, which I know will cost tens, hundreds of millions of pounds, but that's what you've got to spend tax on, not the other stuff. And it'll be like, right, here you go. Here's a one meeting, you and your missus, with, get a male in it. Get a man, say, right, you're the father, could you please have a meeting at the midwife's office? We've got this male there, and he's going to tell you everything you need to know. Probably bloke to bloke, because let's be honest, the sexes still mean something. Bloke to bloke, right, this is what you got to do. Here's your pamphlet, Gotham needs you, right? You've got to do this, do that, hold that you're doing. Whatever you do, don't get angry, don't shake the baby, relax, go away, to calm down, try this. Change its nappy, do this, do that. How to change a nappy? How does a bloke change a nappy? What do I do? Especially if he's got a girl, like a girl child. It's like, what do I do? You know, he can sort of work out a bloke, but he's like not going to work out a girl child, is he? He's going to be like backwards, forwards. What do I do? I forgot, you know, and all this sort of stuff. So, and might be embarrassed about that type of thing. So what you need to do is there needs to be a absolute first contact with a male midwife to a father and say, listen, this is what you got to do. Half an hour, just a half an hour job, dead easy, with the simplest of simple things. Holding, bathing, when to bathe, when not to, when can you start bathing, what can you do? Can you take them swimming? When do you take them swimming? Something says take them straight away, some says no, after the vac. Do you have to get the vaccinations? What vaccinations? Are you legally allowed to do the what are your legal rights and all this? Because one of the surprising things I found is when I went to register the child, they said to Emma, they said, right now, we have to ask you, Emma, is Antony the father? Yes, he is. Okay. Do you agree to put him on the birth certificate? And I was like, okay. But she said, and then the woman said, you actually have zero rights, Antony, until she agrees. So hold on a minute. I have no rights, but I only get rights if the person I got pregnant agrees. But I might need my rights if they're not a very nice they're not a very nice person. But that very not nice person has to agree to give me the rights, but they can withhold it from me. Yeah. are you joking? You know, I was like, seriously? Let us have a DNA test. And then this guy was like, doesn't really, you'd have to go through court. So as a bloke, you get no instruction, you get no sort of explanation of where you've got to go. You have no rights unless the person who's you get pregnant tells you your rights. Even with the DNA test, apparently, it won't work. You have to then do a certain go through court. It costs you a fortune more. You're working, trying to do this, probably not doing it. And you then stood there. And then not on top of that, they say, oh, is he abusing you, him? Is he abusing you? And they ask it like 8 or 9, 10 times. And you're like, whoa, slow down there. So I can handle that because I'm a jolly chap. But what about all the lads, young lads who can't, or annoyed people who can't, or frustrated people? What about them? And then they end up doing something silly and they get in trouble for it. And I think it's like, no, let's go back to men are there. We're not invisible. Please help sort it out. So let me know, what do you think, guys, in the comments below. This is a first time I've done a video like this, which is a little bit on the edge crazy. So just let me know what you think. If you would like, my little boy's called Arthur. I'm not going to put him on the internet because I don't believe, he gets flashed in pictures here and there, but I'm not like putting him all over the internet. But he's a lovely little blue-eyed boy, and I'm an author. I'm a historical researcher and author, and I make my living just by these books behind you. So basically, if it's a girl watching it and you're interested in samurai, that's great. But let's be stereotypical, and my statistics on my book say 99% of my people are blokes. So get your bloke a copy of How to Be a Modern Samurai, or the Book of Bushido, or even Book of Ninja, The Art of War. But for you ladies, I've also got The Ultimate Guide to Yin Yang, which basically is about Chinese free-flowing life and how to do that. And each time, so I'm not asking you for money, you buy that, you get a product, and I get my royalties from these books, and it helps me. I'm building a house for Arthur, we're building his room, and we're trying to create a multi-generational thing here, and we're going to hopefully use this channel to bring to you Western culture and tradition. I do have another channel on the Japanese stuff, so my main channel is not this one, it's the Japanese stuff, but I'm going to focus on this one to try and bring Western culture and tradition back from the dead, because modernity has killed it and we need to bring it back. So let me know about your experience in the comments below so other people can read it, and I hope you have a nice day. And if you're a father-to-be, congratulations. If you're a mother-to-be, please give him a bit of space. Nobody told him what he had to do or what he's in for. So, give him a bit of a breathing space, or teach him what to do. All the best, guys. Bye.